and her. Sitting on a hard chair at a long table, Josie spoke into the microphone in front of her and tried to ignore the phalanx of photographers crouched on the floor between her and the committee. She had been the last of 3 witnesses and the least interesting. The Albanian girl who had been trafficked at the age of 14 and rescued by the pastor of a local church was the star of the day. She spoke about her ordeal in halting English that made her tale even more poignant. Now 20, she was a poised, brave, and exotically beautiful young woman who was in college and studying to become a psychologist. Taking second place was a Serbian immigrant who had built a solid business in the U.S., only to suffer economically and personally at the hands of Eastern European organized crime. The photographers had salivated when he held up a fingerless hand and told of the nightmarish extortion and torture committed against him. His adult son sat behind his father, wiping away tears as the older man spoke. Josie pulled up the rear, telling the senators about Gjergj Isai and the ancient code of justice that cost 3 people their lives in Hermosa Beach and put her ward Hannah and Hannah's friend Billy on the run. Josie had told the senators of the one phone call she received, a message from Hannah reassuring her that they were alive. She was a smart girl and had called in the dead of night, leaving a message on the office machine, unwilling to hear Josie's voice for fear it would draw her home before it was truly safe to come back. Josie told the committee of the very real threat that others from the Isai clan would come for Billy and that the cycle of retribution would be never-ending unless they intervened. Sadly, without Hannah and Billy, without pictures, without wounds, Josie's urging of reconciliation of ancient laws with modern justice made little impact. And lastly, we want to thank Ms. Bates for coming all the way from California to enlighten us about the very real threat stemming from Albanian cultural justice known as blood feud, a practice that both the Catholic Church and Albanian government have denounced. Josie acknowledged the recognition with a slight inclination of her head. In turn, Senator Patriota graced her with the kind of smile one might give an old friend. That was a good trick, since they had never met. Minions had orchestrated this event and lavished attention on the witnesses in an effort to make them forget that the man in charge hadn't even so much as shaken their hands. Now he owned a piece of them. Their stories, their pictures, and their sworn statements were in the public record. Josie had no doubt that all of it would be used in Patriota's upcoming campaign. Washington was a well-ordered machine when it wanted to be. Then Josie's attention was caught by something other than Senator Patriota's acknowledgement, and it wasn't the first time it had happened during the proceedings. For the last hour she had been the object of someone's scrutiny. Now, as the hearing came to a close, her sense of unease intensified. She cut her eyes left and scanned the people standing against the wall. She looked right and did the same. No one showed any particular interest in her. She resisted the urge to look behind her, to look people in the eye and see if they suddenly averted theirs. Instead, she rubbed the nape of her neck, working out a kink as she tried to convince herself that she was simply tired. Away from the beach, the sun, and the surf, she was the proverbial fish out of water. As beautiful as fall was in the nation's capital, the chill in the air, the weight of her coat, the gloves in her pocket made her itch for Hermosa Beach. She was also aware that the memories of her kidnapping and imprisonment in a cement hut could blindside her and paralyze her when she least expected it. "PTSD," the doctor had said. "I'll deal with it," Josie assured him. Sometimes that was easier said than done. Now was one of those times. Josie looked back at Ambrose Patriota in the hope that focusing on